Hello, welcome to another Tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration with your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and welcome as well to Day 8, Past Master Series Volume 2. You can see this is now the palette scrolling across or up and down on the screen right now. That is my entire palette that I basically have set up for every painting. I don't use every color on every painting though, just so you know. But and a lot of my more recent paintings, I have been recording my initial color mixing pass. However, I wasn't doing that back when I did this painting. And this painting that I'm doing a study of, I'm doing a study after George Inness' Moonrise. My painting is an 8x8. I'm sure his was much bigger. You can see I very briefly flashed the color palette there. Yeah, I don't know how useful that is or not, but there it is. It's there. You can always scroll back and get a sense of how I broke down the main colors of the painting. I like to sort of view when I'm doing through a filter of maybe 8 to 12 colors that I'll pre-mix. And a lot of times I do modify those, but kind of gets my head plugged into what I'm doing. And here, a lot of this painting is about how George was doing some really cool things with orange against blue and orange with blue, creating a sort of complementary dynamic with an accent of green. I have done a painting of this scene before. His original is actually not a square, it's rectangular. However, there's somebody on my Pinterest Tonalist page, somebody who is doing square crops of Inness, and I think this painting lent itself well to the square format. So I thought, well, I can do whatever I want. I'm a modern artist. Or maybe I should say contemporary artist, I don't know, but I'm a artist working in contemporary times, and pretty much the definition of a fine artist is an artist who does whatever the heck they want to do, and they don't worry much about other aspects like commercial aspects, or even really what people would think about it. And hopefully though you'll dig it. And if you dig in my channel, actually go to my channel, you could search for Moonrise. You'll see the one I did. Probably I think it was part of the initial 100 Days of Tonalism, but it could have been one of the 25 Days of Tonalism series that followed. I'm not real sure. I know I've done it before though, so there you go. Today is Monday, July 16th 2018, and I wasn't in the studio today. I working at home today, mostly because I have hard drives that are just getting chock-a-block, and I can't put it off any further. I have to start moving things around and getting rid of old backups and making room for new backups and this and that, and not very exciting work, but you've got to do it. And I mean, I could just keep buying new hard drives, but that's not really a solution, since I don't like to have too many plugged in at once. I probably have about 6 or 7 plugged in right now, external hard drives. Hey, these videos take up a lot of room, and not only that, I've been archiving things like these past masters at the original speed as well. So now what you're looking at right here is sped up about I'd say 10 times faster than it took me to do. Yeah, and that doesn't include things like board prep. It also looks like we're missing just a little bit of the drawing stage. Okay, sorry, got interrupted there. Not even sure what I was talking about, but hey, we may as well talk about this painting. As far as I know, mid-period Inness, later mid-period, that'd be my guess. And like I said, you see to me the sky with these orange clouds and then this kind of lavender orange going down into blue. That to me is the actual painting, really. You can see, like, I'm holding. I just decided, heck with it. I'm not going to try and do the moon now. I basically, and you can take it as a tip from me. These sorts of things are much easier to do with wet paint over dry painting. You can just, do something instead of making around with the wet paint. It's much easier in my opinion, which is hopefully something you're into hearing. Otherwise, I want to remind people there might be a click here. I'm going to move this microphone. Sorry about that. You can just watch the paintings if you like. If you're not into the diatribe, you can just mute the sound, put on some cool tunes, and there you go. Now, speaking of tunes, I am fixing to start putting up some music of mine on YouTube. When I do that, I'll be pointing it out on this channel. Don't worry, though. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna make a big ordeal of it. But if you're interested in that, it'll be there for you. And I don't even really know. I'm just starting to wrap my head around it. I have quite a backlog of things that I'm ready to put up and share. So, a lot of which you would have heard as background music very quietly in the videos. I think I was talking about hard drive space and things, and so that's what I'm home dealing with today. And like I say, I've been putting it off, and I wasn't able to do these things yesterday because I had to take a trip down to Auckland to settle some business affairs down there, and that was a lot of fun, let me tell you. Just about everything went wrong that could go wrong, but my wife and I, we got it done. So anyway, I'm gonna have to get back into doing some more Pastor Masters. I do see that the last M. Francis Murphy I put up got a heck of a lot of hits for my channel. Something like 270 something. I don't know, but which is good for me, of course. But it's really even more great for Francis Murphy, who needs to be reevaluated. And I just recently got a book on a guy named Munger, who was an okay painter, but he's not really fit to touch the hem of Francis Murphy's blouse. If you ask me, I think Francis Murphy's maybe 5 times better, but and that's saying a lot because Munger's really, really great. But I would class Francis Murphy as one of the greatest landscape painters of all time. He's up there with people like Camille Corot and George Inness. He's not quite as high as George Inness or Camille Corot, but maybe Camille. But it's up to you're gonna have to put Camille a little higher because Camille, it was an innovator, and to a large degree, I think Francis Murphy kind of took what Camille Corot was doing and what George Inness was doing, and he integrated it with his vision, and created incredibly beautiful, stunning works of art. And of course, George Inness, another innovator, but he was a synthesizer too. He basically took the best bits of the spiritualist Hudson River School and the best bits of the Barbizon, and brought them together in his own fevered vision. And he was fevered. He was a fevered dude. In fact, he was an epileptic. A lot of people don't know that. And he was a metaphysician. He was very, very intense guy, very curious about life, spirituality, and metaphysics. And to the degree where there are quotes from him saying that, he did painting as a living, and he was very passionate about painting, no question about it. But if he'd had his druthers, he would have liked to just do philosophy all day. And I've talked a bit. It's been a while. I mean, I don't have enough time in this video to really start going on a rant about philosophy, but I did a talk on philosophy, my goodness, maybe 2 years ago now. And basically, to sort of sum it up, I believe that it's not enough just to be somebody smashing paint around on top of a board or a canvas. You really should have a philosophical idea about life, and an artist, to be an artist, should be aware of things like spirituality and metaphysics. And by spirituality, I don't really care what kind. It doesn't really, you could be a Christian or a Buddhist or a Hindu or into anything. Even some of these modern people like Tom Campbell. And but you need to be looking at the reality that is below the surface of our existing reality if you wish to do paintings that are going to be transcendental in nature. Otherwise, you're really going to be, the best you can do is get kind of a surfacey thing going on, or something that's just kind of a slave to technique. And technique's not something you hear me talk a lot about here, because my technique is not much different from George Inness's. I will do anything I can to get the image down. If that's a scratching and picking, I'll do that. If it's multiple layers of wet paint over dry, I'll do that. If it's glazing, if it's dry brushing, if it's whatever, I'll do it. And but the key, I think, is of course there to do just what needs to be done and no more and no less to get your idea across. Anyway, like I say, we're getting kind of close to the end here, so thank you for joining me today. And new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. I've noticed quite a bunch of you joining the channel. That's awesome. If you like this video, can you please click like? That's great. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you're an old subscriber, you're so special and dear to me that I will continue to get videos to you on a regular basis. Anyway, take good care and stay out of trouble.